Patriots fans, Mike Vrabel has already said it. It's no secret. He wants to build the trenches. This whole offseason, us as fans, we've talked offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. But one thing we haven't talked much of ever since Milton Williams was picked up by the Patriots has been defensive tackle. And here's why we need to talk about it. Boom. My name is Aaron on the daily Patriots content. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below. Whether it's great, mean, whatever, I get a good laugh, so comment below. I'd appreciate it. So today what we're talking about, a big need for the Patriots, whether you like to think it is or not. As well, we talk about other moves in the league that might have draft implications. Let's jump into it. So first and foremost, each team in the NFL gets a top 30 visits, meaning they get to take 30 people that are going to be drafted or draftees, and they get to bring them to Foxborough, Detroit, Miami, wherever the heck they're at, have interviews, have food, hang out, have all these conversations, really meet the person. So it's more of a more personable interview than it would be at the combine. So one player in particular, and as you look at this list, there's some players that you're probably like, no, not surprised of. And other players that you're like, I've never even heard of this guy. But this guy in particular from Florida State, Joshua Farmer, defensive lineman, is a very interesting move by the Patriots. And I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, you look at the defensive tackle depth for the Patriots. Now, let's say Christian Barmore is not able to play. Let's just say to start the season. The depth for the Patriots isn't anything to write home about. Yes, they picked up Tonga from the Cardinals, but besides that, it's Jaquelin Roy was actually, I thought, a decent pickup last season. But besides that, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing grand. Let's just say that. So the Patriots going into this draft are very likely not only to get, obviously, an offensive tackle like we talked about, a wide receiver, those are pretty much solidified, as well as a running back to join that running back crew. But I think more and more is defensive tackle, especially with, hey, what's going to happen to Christian Barmore, but not necessarily a starting defensive tackle, but a solid rotational defensive tackle. Now, if you look at this last list, you notice Mason Graham was on that list. Yes, a lot of draft boards have him incredibly high on that list, as high as third on their list. And so he would be, and there was a while on, even on this channel that we talked about, there's a potential he is taken at number 4. And there is still a long shot that he's taken at number 4. But again, the Patriots don't need a starting defensive tackle. They need a solid rotational guy. Mason Graham would be, for day one in the league, a starting defensive tackle. Again, I'm not saying that's out of the picture for the Patriots, but I do think the Patriots in a later round will pick a defensive tackle. Now, specifically, what I love about them bringing Joshua Farms in, not only is he a big boy at 6'3", 305, but his style of defense is similar to the defense that Mike Vrabel, Terrell Williams have envisioned. This base 4-3, so we have an even front. That is what Joshua Farmer's base defense was for Florida State. Even though they were gosh awful defensively, they weren't horrible. But Joshua Farmer, he a lot of times he was set up as a two-gapper. So a two-gapper means he comes in and he lines up, let's say in a 2 technique, a 4 technique, so over the guard, over the tackle, or just a 0 technique, so just over the center. So obviously a nose tackle. But his job is to control 2 gaps right there. Now, Mike Vrabel's defense, Terrell Williams' defense, is going to be more of a 1-gap style, meaning, hey, we're going to get you in the A gap, the B gap, and you are going to disrupt that gap and help funnel the runner or whoever to another gap where, guess what? Someone like Spillane is going to eat them up. So again, the great thing about Joshua Farmer, you're not going to see anything sexy here. I'm going to tell you that right now. 40 time, nothing to write home about. His stats, which I'll jump into right here. For a defensive tackle, 4 sacks this year, 5 sacks last year. That's not bad for a defensive tackle. And so when we look at it, that's not awful. But the great thing about him is his size, his arm length, and his ability to clog gaps is huge. He has a pro frame, so obviously a big body, wide, broad shoulders, and he is able to clog up running lanes. So Also does a great job when it comes to early rush separation, heavy knockdown. He doesn't have it when it comes to the moves. Nothing great. Again, more traditional defensive tackle, where again we look at someone like Mason Graham, more technical, more of truly a edge rusher who is playing defensive tackle. Again, Mason Graham, not necessarily the size for a defensive end or edge rusher necessarily, but he comes in, or technically for a defensive tackle, but he can do that as well. Issues though, we talk about first step, and every once in a while, if you watch some of his film, it's not the sexiest film either. When it comes to he's just being kind of lethargic. If you watch any of his film, I would love to show it, but what's tough is I always get dinged for it, and it's not great. But if you look at it just for hey, Joshua Farmer, we don't expect you to come in and be a all pro. We need you to come in to be a rotational piece for this defense. And I think that would be huge for this defense, just because, again, we look at the depth, and the depth on this defensive tackle position is not deep. It is not deep at all. And so, again, yes, you have Milton Williams, great. You have Christian Barmore, great. And then after that, it's a drop-off. And so bringing in more talent would be huge for the Patriots at this position. And again, it would ring true to what Mike Vrabel believes in fixing the trenches, making sure the trenches are winning the line of scrimmage, and all these different things. Because we know if you can control the line, it's going to make everyone else, whether that's on defense, on offense, for your team, look incredibly better. So Joshua Farmer, what do you guys think? Yay or nay? Comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are. Again, some of you might say, well, I actually really like Mason Graham. Okay, what's your thoughts on that? Comment below. If there's another defensive tackle that you've seen, comment below. Tell me what you think. But Joshua Farmer projected to be a third rounder, so it's possible that he's taken with one of those third round picks the Patriots have, the one of two. So what are your thoughts? Comment below. Again, his stats. But moving on from him, the Browns make an interesting move, picking up Mr. Joe Flacco, Mr. Unibrow himself. And so what's interesting about this is there was reports about Deshaun Watson the other day came out. He's not going to be able to play, most likely, very likely to miss this whole 2025 season. Now, he came out and said, listen, he's going to have a big-time comeback. He's going to prove everyone wrong. But the question is, do the Browns believe that as well? And so having this move of picking up Joe Flacco, is it, okay, we have Kenny Pickett, not a true starter. We've already seen that with his time in Pittsburgh. Joe Flacco, last time we were in the playoffs, we had Joe Flacco. And man's old, but he has experience. He's won a Super Bowl. He knows our system. Let's roll with it. And so does this mean for the Browns, they are not going to go for someone like Shedeur Sanders? Because we know Cam Ward, number one for sure. So the Browns, again, I think is a huge possibility. They take Travis Hunter. They need offensive weapons. But then even moving down to the Giants, you look at the Giants and they've gotten Jameis Winston as well as Russell Wilson. So it doesn't rule out that they still go for Sanders and say, hey, we're going to bring you in and we're going to give you a year to develop under Russell Wilson or whatnot, and then we're going to bring you in. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation to have, because regardless, if the Patriots want to get Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, they need one of those two teams to take Shedeur Sanders. And if one of those two teams don't take Shedeur Sanders, chances are it goes Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. And apparently Abdul Carter posted a video of Lawrence Taylor, or a picture of Lawrence Taylor in Giant stuff. So a lot of people are speculating on that. But again, interesting move by the Browns. Again, I understand why they do it, because you can't just have Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett ain't the guy. We all know that. So it'll be interesting to see. Last but not least, actually two more things. Marcus Jones just commented on Mike Vrabel. I want to add this just because I thought it was great. But whenever we're doing something, he likes to be hands-on. I love that about a coach. A coach coming in and saying, listen, I'm not going to just tell you what to do. Like when I teach PE, I like getting there, whether we're playing games, we're lifting, whatever the heck we're doing, I'm in there doing it with the students. One, because it creates more connection, more rapport with your students, with your players, whoever it might be, and it just shows you like, hey, this means a lot to me, and I care, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to, you know, put my sleeves up. I'm going to show you how to do this. So I love stuff like that as well. Music in the hallway. I would love to hear the music they're playing. Comment below what kind of music you think they're playing. I'm thinking it's classic rock if it's Mike Vrabel, but very well could be rap or who the heck knows. Last but not least, I thought this was hilarious, so I just thought I'd add it. My boy Ken coming in here, idiot. Why do I bother with this guy, idiot? So I just thought it'd be helpful to correct him. I said, idiot. Why do I bother with this guy? He is an idiot. I may teach PE, but grammar is important. Love you, Ken. Ken, this is for you. Love you, man. Also, like and subscribe. I appreciate you. I just thought it was funny. I always get a good laugh. My wife gets a good laugh. Listen, I'm doing it for a good time. I teach PE. I'm not a sports media analyst or anything like that. I just love it. So, anyways, comment below. Tell me what you think. Joshua Farmer, yay or nay. Comment below as well on the whole Joe Flacco thing. Do you think that's good or bad for the Patriots? Just comment below. I appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. Peace.